heart of South Philly. Let's go see what the people have got to say. I'm ready to roll if they need me.
Now listen here, Dutch. The Mets and the Cowboys, they suck.
1, 2, 3, go Birds! Go Birds! Here we go, 302BIRDS, Gino Stinks. Go Birds! Oh my gosh, Chad.
Your favorite Chicagoan. Go Phils.
As always, God bless. Go Birds.
Get your water ice and soft pretzels ready because you are now tuned into a 302BIRDS podcast experience. Proudly presented by TickPick, Nick's Pizza, El Diablo Burritos, and Klondike Kate's on the heart of Main Street. Let's take it to the show.
You guys can hear the trumpets in the background. Why? Why do we got the trumpets this week? Well, tomorrow, my friends, is Thursday night football. Had to bring the trumpets out for possibly the game of the year. You guys know Jalen Hurts, Jayden Daniels, our house. You guys like that? That was kind of smoother than I thought it would go. I'm just testing out some of the features on what we're all paying for here on StreamYard. Everybody technically paid for it. So just getting creative with it. But welcome if you guys are new. My name is Dalton, joined by Ash, Jack, Ballpark Tommy, and KJ, of course. We got Shardy backstage calling in from our Phillies post-game show. An awesome show for you guys. But without further ado, I will stop yapping and get right into the segments of the show. We will not keep you guys waiting. Want to thank El Diablo and Nick's Pizza for sponsoring the next two segments that we're combining into one segment.
What do I want when I'm in the state of Delaware? Of course, El Diablo Burritos. Customer service always is serving your food with a smile on their face, asking how your day is. But their food is phenomenal as well. Their burritos are out of this world, one of the best burritos in town. Their queso is phenomenal. Their burrito bowls are amazing as well. When you're in and around Delaware, stop by your local El Diablo Burritos and tell them that 302BIRDS sent you. God bless.
Time for Phillies talk with Ballpark Tommy. Finger stitch.
What up? Tommy, how you feeling?
Good. How are you?
Good. How about these awards that happened, the other night?
What, with Brycey?
Yeah, with Brycey. Dilemmas. What are you feeling tonight?
I don't know. What are you feeling? Apparently, you want to talk about awards, but you also want to talk about dilemmas at the same time. You want to talk the good, the bad, and the ugly, apparently. Just like your face.
How about you guys start with a dilemma? Let's start with the dilemma. And welcome, Shardy, to the show. We want to welcome you. Thank you to Nick's Pizza and El Diablo for sponsoring that. But Shardy, I mean, I want to get right into this topic. Alec Boehm, do you want him back? Do you not want him back? Let's just kick this thing off with a bang.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I miss my show, dude. I miss the Phillies. It feels like it's been 5 months and it's really been about a month. But yeah, dude, like, I don't know. Like, we posted a question of the day. I'm going to hold my mic for this, but we posted a question of the day the other day on Twitter, which for those of you that have not been active on Twitter, I took over. So make sure you follow us on Twitter. There's question of the day on there. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, I posted a question of the day on Twitter. I'm actually going to pull it up now. And I had said that, do you agree with Boehm on the trade block? And a lot of people said yes. Some people said no. 50 people voted. Yes won. It was 63%. But the dilemma is that they are looking to trade him for Bregman from the Astros. And I I don't know. I don't really agree with it personally. You're trading for a guy that's older. You know, Bregman's pushing 30 if he's not 30 already, and Bohm is 28. I'd rather trade for somebody younger. I mean, looking at stats, you know, Bregman with runners in scoring position, in 139 at bats, he has a lower batting average. He's batting .230, and Bohm is .301. With runners on, Bregman is .237, Bohm is .303. You know, going forward with every single stat, Bohm is the better batter there, and I think with Bregman, you know, he does have more power. Citizens Bank Park is a good ballpark for hitters. It's a hitter-friendly park if you have power. But I just I can't get behind shilling out so much money for a guy that's in his 30s. And it's like, you know, Bohm is coming off an all-star season. It's good trade capital for that because we can get a decent amount in return. But I really just think the reason that people want to trade Alec Bohm is because of his attitude. You saw it down the stretch towards the end of the season. He just seemed like a whiny crybaby, you know what, just complaining all the time, throwing his helmet, throwing a fit in the dugout. And I think that's the main reason why he's being traded is just his attitude, the way that he handles things at certain times. But yeah, I don't know. But we'll start with that. Tommy, what do you think about the whole trade thing?
I think he's the perfect trade piece, and here's why. Hey, so all the points you just said, 100% agree with you. Not refuting a thing. His production during the season, he is the most productive third baseman offensively, I think, for about 3/4 of the way through the season. And then because of his late season spiral that lasted pretty much all of September, or he fell out of like number one per se. But for most of the season, he was number one in terms of offensive production amongst NL third basemen. And you're really not going to replace that production. That being said, he's dead last in production amongst all qualified players in playoff production since 22. Like, I think that's where the frustration finally boils over. And Bregman, even this year when the Astros weren't scoring, Bregman at least showed up. Altuve didn't show up early, but Bregman did in the postseason this year, even though the Astros were knocked out pretty early. So, all that being said, I think that's where a lot of the frustration comes from. But here's why I also say he's kind of the top trade piece I would have. One, Bregman's a free agent this year, so they could go sign Bregman, use Bohm as a trade piece to go get another asset. They need somebody in that outfield. They're not getting Juan Soto. Juan Soto, who from all reports has narrowed it down to 4 teams, and the Phillies ain't it. So we're not getting Juan Soto. Oh, that being said, so they're not getting Juan Soto. Oh, they need either another outfielder or a starting pitcher, but I really don't think they need a starting pitcher as much as everybody kind of wants them to. They could trade for, I'd rather see them trade for a reliever then, and rather, because honestly, when you look at their starting pitchers, they have Wheeler, Nola, Christopher Sanchez. They have, like, I love Ranger. Not sure if he's going to be able to last another full season as a starter. He might need a transition back to the bullpen, so there might be your bullpen help there. And you have Andrew Painter, who I wouldn't be surprised if the Phillies do with him what the Pirates did with Paul Skeens, where he's not up right away due to, like, some bonuses they would have to pay him and stuff like that. But their rotation is pretty filled out. All that being said, also looking down the pipeline, speaking of Andrew Painter, or being your fifth starter, is Aiden Miller you have in the minor league system. So that being said, if you go after Bregman, sign him to a 2 or 3 year deal, and he doesn't really work out, okay, you're not in it for the long haul, and you have this guy who's a stud in the minor leagues. Yes, I'm making a lot of assumptions that Aiden Miller is going to be a stud on the major league level. But from all accounts, from what we've seen, he is going to be a stud. But we've also had that with, I'm sorry to bring back any PTSD, but if Dominic Brown rings a bell to anyone, he was supposed to be a surefire stud in the minors as well. And he gave us a very holy 2 weeks, and then made an all-star game, and then forgot how to play baseball at a major league level again, and for the rest of his career. So that's kind of where I'm at with trading Alec Bohm. I'm all for trading Alec Bohm. Brandon Marsh isn't going to get us a championship. I've lost faith in what's his face really ever finding his bat. Johan Rojas. Yeah. Cassie found it, and I don't expect him to be a Gold Glover. He's just the model of consistency. I kind of know what I'm getting out of him at this point. Trey Turner's been a huge disappointment, but he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, we're stuck with Trey Turner. We're stuck with Trey Turner.
Yeah, we're stuck with him. So that's kind of where I'm at with in terms of trade. Like, you can trade Johan Rojas, you can trade Brandon Marsh, and you can trade Alec Bohm. Stott, he's like, even when his bat wasn't good, his glove was Gold Glove level of excellence. So I'm not trading Bryson Stott anytime soon.
Do you think the daycare days are over? Should we start singing? Nah, 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 nah. Nah, nah,
I think it's over. I think the daycare is a failure. Just like it is with the Sixers. I mean, with the trust the process thing, it's a failure as well. But I'll tell you this: I think the whole daycare thing is stupid. We want to win a championship. Obviously, we want to see a parade down Broad Street. You're not going to win it with a bunch of kids, and that's what Alec Bohm is. So I want to see him get traded so bad. I really hope it happens. And honestly, I mean, he's not really a kid anymore. I mean, what is he, like 28 now? So, and Bregman's probably around like, what, 33 or something like that, around that age.
He's 30.
30? Okay. So it's only 2 years off. So I wouldn't mind doing a swap for both guys. I think that would be fine. But yeah, I'm just done with Alec Bohm. Every postseason, I see him just pout on the side in the dugout and just cry and freaking just like nag about certain things and not getting what he wants and whatever. It's just infuriating. And I don't have the patience for him anymore. I really don't. I never liked him in the first place. So I say trade him. I say go for it.
And you can hedge your bets with Aiden Miller. Like, it's like if Bregman doesn't work out, you have Aiden Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my thing with a daycare, right? And you guys can chime in if you want. If it's anybody from the daycare that needs to be traded, I say you keep Bohm. I mean, Bohm is beginning of the season last year. He was high with runners in scoring position. He's really great at driving in runs and having doubles. I personally think it's Marsh who should be on the trade block.
I agree with that.
The only reason I say that is because, like, out of anybody on the team, his strikeout rate was the highest last year. His strikeout rate was above 60%, which is absolutely terrible. But kind of transitioning into the next thing that I kind of wanted to bring up, and Tommy, you kind of mentioned this earlier, is the reliever position. You have two free agents that are able to be signed elsewhere this season in Jeff Hoffman and Carlos Estevez. And I think, honestly, you got to work on bringing one back. I think, me personally, it should be Hoffman. I don't know if Estevez has really... I mean, he's been here for a couple months. He's proven himself, but I really think you bring back Hoffman, especially with his all-star season last year. And I think Turnbull also is a free agent. I would like to see Turnbull back here as well. But what do you guys think about the reliever position? Who do you think they should re-sign? And do you think they bring back All three of them, one of them, none of them? What do you got? What do you guys think?
I keep on hearing a reliever's name, and I mean, you guys can disagree or agree with it. I keep on hearing the name like fly around, and I don't know if it's realistic. I mean, Tom, you can kind of back me up on this or not. I keep on hearing the name Devin Williams, and I know Devin Williams didn't have that good of a postseason, or I think it was postseason or whatever he was struggling at. But I think Devin Williams would be a good relieving pitcher here in Philly. I mean, I think he could probably totally be inserted into this rotation if it's realistic. I mean, what do you think, Tommy?
I'm not the biggest fan on Devin Williams. He had a high ERA for he's one of those guys where he's almost like Alvarado, where he comes in and he's either lights out or it's falling apart and there's kind of no in between. He's usually just like how Alvarado, not this past season, but the past 2 seasons before this season, where Alvarado was more the former, where he was lights out most of the time, and very rarely would get lit up. That's kind of where I'm at with him. I'd rather go after Ryan Hensley personally. I know he wants to be a starter though, so I'm not so sure about that. And I know Hoffman's made mention of possibly wanting to be a starter now. If he wants to be a starter, I don't think I really have a spot for him on this team. But that being said, I'd rather have Hoffman come back. If Hoffman's willing to come back as a reliever, I want Hoffman. Hoffman was lights out. I know he had a bad series against the Mets. I understand that. Every reliever did this past postseason. I'm not getting rid of all of my bullpen, obviously. I got to bring some guys back. Hoffman's going to be that guy. Estevez, I held my breath every time that dude came in, and I was having flashbacks to Jonathan Papelbon and really to Jonathan Papelbon, where he got the job done. But I think I lost 50 years off of my life every time he came in. And because he had to give up first the leadoff walk, then he gives up a single, then he strikes 2 guys out, then he gets into a 3-2 count, guy fouls off 9 pitches, strikes the next guy out. Great, you won the game, but I just had a heart attack and I'm being rushed to Lankenau. That's what Estevez was. I'm perfectly fine if we don't bring back Estevez because he didn't really have much of a repertoire. He only really had his fastball. Oh, and by the way, his fastball. Alvarado at least has a fastball and a slider. He can mix it up. Estevez couldn't really mix it up. Kirkering can mix it up. I don't know. I'm just I'm out on Estevez personally. Turnbull, he had his injuries, but I think if we stay committed, of being no, this guy cannot start, he has to be a bullpen arm. I don't think he'd be that bad. He was lights out a lot of times last year with his stuff, and he's got the repertoire of a starter, which translates very well lately with these guys coming out of the bullpen. You need 1 or 2 pitches that can be absolutely dominant, like he has with his fastball, Turnbull, and his curveball. But his slider, and sweeper and whatnot, his changeup. Having a full repertoire out of the bullpen can be absolutely lethal from a strategic advantage standpoint.
What about are you sold on the whole Garrett Crochet thing with the White Sox?
No, I think he has a terrible attitude. I don't think he's a winner.
I think they're going to want way too much.
They want it way too much at the deadline. They wanted Crawford, Painter, and McAbel. They wanted our 3 top guys for him. I'm already out on him.
Yeah, I'm going to leave it at this because I don't have much more to say. You brought in 3 new investors. You pulled in $500 million extra money to invest, whether that's, going all in on Juan Soto, whether that's going in, which I highly, highly doubt you're going to sign him. that I can't think of his name, but he just got permission to come to the MLB from Japan.
Oh yeah, the guy from Japan. Yeah,
he's probably going to sign with the Dodgers. I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't. Because the Dodgers are just so close to Japan, their market is right there. It's either going to be the Dodgers or San Francisco. You either, which I don't think we're getting Soto. You either go all in on Soto, you go all in on this Japanese guy again, similar to Yamamoto. I don't think you get either. I really just think that they need to get their heads out of where and sign somebody who's actually going to make a difference to this team. Austin Hayes last year was not it. He was not the outfielder you needed. He was trash. But yeah, that's my take. I don't know if Dave Dombrowski really knows what he's doing. I know, they just switched. There was a whole switching of roles and whatnot. So hopefully this new guy that's in charge knows what he's doing. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to run it back again. I don't want to run it back again. I don't. You need to fill in the holes.
Don't worry, nobody wants to run it back. We're all in the same boat.
Well,
but hey,
you say you want your damn trophy back, and it's like, what did you do to actually try to get it back?
Yeah, well, we'll see. But Shardy, want to thank you for joining us, man. We appreciate you. Guys, be sure to give Shardy a follow on Instagram at Philly Shardy. And appreciate you for running our Phillies postgame, man.
Yeah, we should be I think we're going to do some winter meeting shows when some trades start heating up. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on the Twitter for questions of the day if you guys are interested. And yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
You know who I'm out on? I'm out on
I
Joel
think you
Embiid.
all know.
Joel
yeah,
Embiid
everybody is.
Freaking
But wait. Before you get into it, I got to give him his honors because, he loves his new.
You are now listening to AJ Court, proudly presented by the Sleeper.
Looks like a 6-foot rim he dunked on.
Hey, it's 9 foot. No, it wasn't.
You're right. It was 5.
This is
it was 8 foot and a half. All right, 8 foot and a half.
This is all I want to say, and then I'll be quiet. Joel Embiid's a bum. He is giving me vibes of Tobias Harris. That's crazy, right? We gave Toby all this money, didn't do shit for this team. We gave Embiid all this money, hasn't done shit for the team. Maybe got the MVP, brought us to the playoffs, got past the second round. We're paying him $193 million, and he can't play a full season. So I am done with him. We need to get him out. I know we can't really eat that pay, but yeah, he came back for one game and played awful yesterday. And, he's out again. So that's all I got to say. Joel Embiid's a bum. I've been saying it for the past 3 years. But, yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yeah, I was at the game last night, and I'll tell you this. Once again, seeing a New York team just take over and just us really just lie down there and just die. It was depressing for sure. And Embiid, yeah, it's really tough to honestly root for this guy because you hear in the interview yesterday, he's deflecting everything it's not my fault. He's like, I'm getting injured. And he's like, all this stuff about my face got broken, everything like that. Yes, he makes sacrifices and everything like that, but it just shows how dysfunctional this organization is. Offering a guy who is injury prone, a guy who can only play at least a minimum of about 50 games a season. And now, honestly, I don't know if he's going to get to play maybe even 30 games this season because, this whole thing about him saying, I'm not going to play back to back. It's just, I know people are like, oh, well, we got arrested for the playoffs. Here's the thing. The playoffs is in May and June. We got a long ways to go. And we're going to need him in the game to win some games. That's how it is. I know the regular season really doesn't matter too much to a lot of people, but right now we only have 2 wins. I don't think we're beating the Cavs right now. I don't think we are. I haven't checked the score. But, they're undefeated right now. So most likely we're losing. But yeah, it just sucks. It really sucks rooting for this team. I'm gonna keep on rooting for this team, but it is it's depressing. It really is.
So I don't want anybody, don't worry, to waste their breath anymore on the Sixers, because we do have a more upbeat topic with actually two handsome alumni in front of you, and then KJ, who is an honorary St. Joe's fan, because shout out to KJ's brother Mason, a Hawk as well. But we all root for St. Joe's. So I mean, Tom, when we were at St. Joe's, did they ever beat Villanova or anything? Yes.
No.
Tom, when we were at St. Joe's, did we go to Larry's a lot?
Yes, with lots of heartburn.
Yes. Yes, very true. But Mac, I'll let you go ahead and take this one first. It a super dynamic, impressive win last night for the Hawks.
Yeah, that was a great win for the Hawks last night. I mean, obviously coming off a horrible loss against a team I didn't even know that existed in Central Connecticut. So, I mean, they're like a team from like the MAC or whatever, the MAC, which is actually a division, Dolt, if you don't know. So that's the funny thing. But yeah, no, they won 83-76, and it actually counts for the Big Five Classic that's going to be happening at Wells Fargo Center on December 7th, I believe. Yeah, so I'll actually be at that, but it's a fun event, and now St. Joe's will be in like that, I think like that Final Four for the Big Five or something like that. But yeah, Xavier Brown is a beast. I mean, the kid is just insane. He honestly reminds me a little bit of Jameer Nelson. I mean, just the way that his tenacity is. I mean, we haven't seen a guy like this, a point guard for St. Joe's since Jameer Nelson. So, I mean, this is great to see a guy like him. I mean, and he's young too. I mean, he's a sophomore. My brother's obsessed with him. I mean, a bunch of my friends are obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with him as well as a fan. So, I mean, they're balling out. We also got a guy who was a transfer from Rutgers who's pretty good. The center, he's a beast. He's from Harvard, actually. So a lot of guys who really didn't get what they wanted at other colleges are coming to St. Joe's now, and they're making themselves known, which is great to see. And now they finally beat Nova, and they show that they are the kings of the Big Five. We are
2
finally
years in
back.
a row they beat Nova finally.
Yeah.
And the one thing, too, I want to point out, I'll kick it to Ballpark and let him take it as well. Like KJ just said, to piggyback off that, they're young. That's scary. That's exciting for us guys that could watch them in the tournament who went there, who have a connection to St. Joe's University. If anybody out there has a connection to St. Joe's, let us know in the comments. The Hawk will never die. I love to see it. But 66 of the Hawks' 83 points were from 2 sophomores and 2 juniors. So you look at that and it's like, okay, cool. We got all of this year of that. And hopefully next year, if one of them, you could see somebody go into the draft, maybe depending on how good they get. That's always, up for debate. But 79% of the Hawks' points are coming from that young core 4, for lack of a better term. So shout out to the Hawks, man. I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to lose some money in the tournament, or maybe make some money, I should say.
They can make the tournament. They totally can. And even though people were kind of worried that they lost to Central Connecticut, I still think this is a tournament team, even though it seems like Eric Reynolds, who was pretty much the future NBA potential draftee, I thought he was going to be an NBA draft pick eventually. He still can be, but he had a really off game. He had a pretty off game yesterday. I mean, he was 0 for 4 for threes, which usually isn't like him. But he's just kind of, I mean, maybe he's just warming up. I hope he is. But we'll see what happens. Brashear Fleming is a beast. I mean, he was going off in the summer at some summer camp that Damian Lillard was hosting, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that's the guy from St. Joe's," and even Damian Lillard was like super impressed by him. So, yeah, I'm excited for the St. Joe's team, and let's go Hawks! Go!
The Hawk will never die.
Never die.
Never die.
You know who dies? You know who really dies?
Who?
The damn Cowgirls. The Cowboys get demolished 34-6. This was just a bloodbath. Ashley, what do you think takeaways from this game?
It was the least stressful Eagles Cowboys game that I can remember. And I absolutely loved it. I could actually enjoy it for what it was. Mostly, it also did not help that we watched the Bears get absolutely obliterated during the first Banky games. But the Eagles played like they were having fun again. It very much reminded me of 2017. They had choreographed touchdown dances again, and all of the things that like I remember back then. It hasn't been that long, but that was like one of the things that I'm like, this makes this team special. So it was just a breath of fresh air, and it was a game that obviously, like record wise, we're fine, but every single one of these divisional games we have to win. And the Cowboys, every time whether we go to Dallas or they come to Philly, it is always a nerve-wracking game. I don't think any of us were I mean, I know I said that I thought we were going to lose, and I am so happy that my prediction was wrong. However, I think all of us were pleasantly surprised at the absolute bloodbath that it was.
Yeah, this was. Go ahead, Tommy. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Jackson.
No, you got
too
it.
cute looking. Go.
No, you got it, buddy. No, you got it. Seriously.
Go, Jack. He already told you. Go,
Jack.
Go, you jackass.
Yeah, no. I mean, all I gotta say is everyone was playing great football. I mean, Vic Fangio now has this defense looking amazing, and just to see, Jerry World, his own players getting flustered about the sun shining in their eyes. That just is amazing. And I don't know the last time we beat them in Dallas. I'm sorry. And but it just was a great game to watch. And we had a day that day.
Yeah, I think it was a crazy game. I mean, obviously for the Eagles, I mean, they did make a bloodbath, and I mean, I saw some videos too. Some Cowboys fans were like, "Oh, well, the sun was in our face. The sun was like this. The sun was blinding CD and everything like that." The sun was blinding us too. So, I mean, Jerry Jones, you need to work on your stadium. I mean, you've had that up for a while, and you have not fixed or even put up blinds. I mean,
yes, they have. They have curtains.
They do
for concerts, not for Cowboys games. So Jerry Jones' stubborn ass will not use them for context. He won't use them. They exist. They are in the building. They could have put them up before the game, but Jerry Jones and not anybody on the Cowboys team or anybody that's actually going out there and going to play the game had any input. Nope. Jerry Jones, old ass, up there in the box on his 2 vodka cranberries had all to say.
I don't want to talk about the curtains. I don't want to talk about them. That's what he was pretty much saying.
You know where the moon is, by the way?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We
no, but
tear down the whole damn stadium.
Oh wow!
I'm so disappointed in my organization. So disappointed. But
Ashley,
what's up? You good?
Go ahead.
Right. But yeah, I think this Eagles team got a great win, obviously 4 in a row. I mean, you saw Jalen, obviously, in the first half. It was kind of shaky. And, I mean, it wasn't that big of a lead that we had at halftime. But in the second half, he really showed that he is getting better each game. He's proving doubters wrong. He's proving those bonehead analysts like Nick Wrong from Fox. I call him Nick Wrong because he is always wrong, and he's a hippie, and he's so biased about the Chiefs and everything like that. Thinks that Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're gonna just obliterate everybody all the time. They're just gonna keep on. But dude, they barely win games. Not the point. But yes, Jalen Hurts, he totally went out there and balled out. He was throwing the deep ball
in the second half.
He was throwing the deep ball like sliced bread. It was freaking awesome to see him just throwing it down that field to AJ. I think he threw some to trying to think who else. What was it? He threw a couple to Devontae as well too. So it was and Dotson too. He got Dotson involved with at least one catch. But yeah, I think he was spraying the ball around, and it was great to see him just go out there and just go back to his home state of Texas and just take down the Cowboys.
Because the stars at night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
In Texas.
It was great.
Is that what the Salucci household looked like on Sunday, or sounded like, I should say?
Oh, I was doing the worst cowboy impressions. I was sounding like a stupid Southerner. I was Like every stereotype that could come out, I did.
I think I heard some of them living with you, so I would have paid to be there, seeing some of these cowboy impressions because there are pretty good ones, I will say.
Oh my god, I loved that. Like other than like, let's also just to be completely objective here. Here, I know we don't do it too often, but Jalen looked awful. Like not awful, but he didn't look his sharpest in the first half.
No, he looked awful. He looked awful.
Yeah, in the first half, he did not look good. That's what I was saying.
Second half, it was returned to like how he looked the last 5 games. And you know what? I'll chalk it up. The sun was in his eyes when he threw the interception and had his fumble. So you know what? I'll chalk it up to the sun because everybody looks sloppy with how that sun was. Not really a full-on excuse, but I'll chalk it up to that, considering how the last like 5 games went. But he looked like a stud. Saquon looked like a stud. The line looked like a stud. And AJ looked like a stud. They all look like studs. And the defense was absolutely dominant.
Sirianni looked like a stud to you, Tom. How are you feeling about him?
Still not great, but, you know, here's the thing. He didn't
Bro is fucking winning, though. Like, when are people going to start giving Nick his credit?
Because here's the thing. He got
5-0 since the bye now. Going to be 6.
I understand that. But I think it's one of those things they were winning games in spite of him, or he was just doing things that didn't lose them the game. Like he didn't contribute anything that actually brought about winning football. Per se. Like in the Giants game, he looked great. But other than the Giants game, he hasn't looked great. Sirianni. I'm told he's great, like, throughout the week, getting these guys all prepared and whatnot. And that's fabulous because these players look like they're winning in spite of Nick.
He's not even actually bald, though. People don't realize.
Fuck you guys. Ever since he got that haircut, he's been lights fucking
It was a
out,
buzz
right?
cut. It was a buzz cut. I used to get buzz
What are
cuts
you
for 10
talking?
years.
How high did you get before this show?
It has nothing to do with anything like that, Tom. It
He
has
was
to do
never
with the
bald,
haircut
though.
and a record.
He was never
All that
bald.
there is
People
to
don't
it.
realize that. It's a buzz
I think
cut.
Jalen Hurts is 5-0.
Well, haircutless.
I think Nick Sirianni's like, I think he's 3-2. If he had an average NFL roster, he's not 5-0. But because of the talent that he has, the talent saved his ass. Jalen Hurts saved his ass the last few weeks, having no turnovers besides in this Cowboys game. Jalen Hurts has saved him. Jalen Hurts is the highest rated quarterback since then. And the offense has been more turned over to Kellen Moore even more, knowing how awful they've been. Kellen Moore being allowed to finally game plan a little bit for the first quarter. All of a sudden, they scored first quarter points the last 2 weeks. It took them 9 weeks to get there, and it was Sirianni slowing them up. I'm not gonna give Sirianni his flowers when he hasn't had them yet. His seeds are still being planted. Jalen has blossomed. Kellen Moore has blossomed. This defense has blossomed with Vic Fangio. Nick Sirianni is still a dormant seed that has yet to blossom and bloom.
Okay, so let me just say this. Nick Sirianni is 34-17 as the Eagles head coach, which marks, let me just rephrase that. It's the most victories by a head coach in their first 3 years with the team, as well as the highest winning percentage by a head coach in franchise history. So that just has to tell you something. I mean, it's Nick Sirianni has taken this team to the playoffs the past 3 seasons. We went to the Super Bowl 1 season. So I'm not saying he's the greatest coach since sliced bread, but I mean, you got to give him his flowers, sometime, because without Nick Sirianni, the record speaks for itself. I mean, what's your rebuttal?
What's my rebuttal? His in-game decision making. We don't see him during the week. And from everything I'm told, he is phenomenal at preparing these players, which is like 90% of what a coach's job is. But the in-game decision-making is going to lose this team games. It lost us a huge chunk of games towards the end stretch of last year when we couldn't get out of our own effing way.
That was also, we had a shitty offense coordinator and a shitty defense coordinator. That was not all Nick Sirianni's fault.
They were handpicked by
we couldn't fucking tackle the past 6 weeks in the last season.
Yeah, that comes down to coaching. And Nick Sirianni handpicked both of those coordinators.
Nick Sirianni is not the defensive coordinator at all. He is the head coach.
He handpicked the defensive coordinator, dumbass.
The one thing I do want to say
to
both you guys is maybe this is a good thing. All right, let me string this all together like fucking Spider-Man in this shit. All right, Tom, you lived with me 2017. You knew me freshman year of college. Tom, in a short answer, all right, was I a fan of Doug?
No.
See? So somebody in this relationship, in this threshold, maybe always has to have the knife at an Eagles coach's neck is the point I'm making. Maybe Tom is the guy that has to take it out on his fellow Paisan. Who would have thought, right? Tom has every reason to like Nick Sirianni. Italian, likable, edgy, relatable coach. I mean, everybody should like Nick Sirianni, right? Especially in this modern era. But Tom doesn't. So maybe there's a lot of alignings in this season to 2017. And I know we said that last year. You can always like find a fucking stat if you really want to. But my point is, maybe one of us has to have the knife at a coach's neck. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
I will say this. I think Tom has every right to feel like this because, I mean, the thing is, we have done this multiple times where, I mean, Nick Sirianni has actually done this where we kind of lost his trust. He'll honestly make a bad decision and we'll be like, dude, what the heck are you doing? So, yeah, I kind of can agree with what Tom's saying, but then also with what Jack's saying, I agree with that as well. Because, I mean, he is going out there. He seems like he is becoming more of a better decision maker and the players have his back. So, I mean, like, it's not like how it was last year where we felt like the players were against him. Right now, it feels like everybody's getting along. Everybody's singing Kumbaya. I mean, everybody seems like they're having great days with Nick Sirianni as the head coach of this team. So I'm going to believe that he's doing the right thing in the locker room. He's doing the right thing when it's coming to coaching. But, I mean, yeah, I do have a little bit of, like, some suspicion that, like, he'll go back to his ways and he'll just be like, you know what, though, I'm going to be smarter than everyone else. And then he makes a really dumb decision. So that's where I'm kind of on the fence about it. I can kind of see from both sides. He's not bold, though. That's a fake.
He's got a big brain, Mac. That's what I'm saying.
Picture.
Ash, how are you feeling about Boldian?
Man.
I mean, in terms of the coaching thing, I think it's a hard question because ultimately Nick Sirianni walked in to a good team. He walked into a team that had a lot of the pieces there. And I think that is where it is hard to kind of figure out what is coaching, what is talent, and sometimes just pure luck. I am pretty neutral on him right now. I do appreciate the fact that he is allowing those coordinators to take over and do more of that play calling. I go back to when Shane Steichen was calling the plays. And I've said this on the show before, magic happened. And when Sirianni was calling plays, it was a complete disaster. And we can go back to, this is not just a Nick Sirianni issue. This has been a historic issue with head coaches in Philadelphia. So as long as he kind of, for lack of a better term, stays in his lane and just kind of oversees everything compared to micromanaging, I think it's going to go over well.
Which is actually a great segue into our next topic. And we'll go ahead and be gentlemen here this time. We'll let ladies take it first and just go ahead and snake this thing. But defense and Vic Fangio, like you said, I guess Sirianni's staying in his lane because it's working.
It's working. They are cooking with gas at this point. The rookies are really fitting in. They are meshing with the team. They're finding their place, and it is just fun to watch them right now. They really surprised me. I was a little bit nervous just with, again, Cooper Rush has always historically played well against the Eagles, but they were able to shut him down, and it was I was at least able to breathe a sigh of relief, especially once we get to that second half. And we've said this before on this podcast, at least since I've been here. It's amazing what happens when both sides of the ball play 4 quarters of football. And they were able to play 4 quarters of football this week.
Yeah, I mean, this defense is playing great ball, and you guys are all calling for Vic Fangio's head beginning the season, saying, oh, this guy's too old to be our coach. And I said, just give him time. And what happened during the bye week, they bonded, and they came out guns blazing. And this defense has played great defense. I mean, they said earlier in the comments, I agree with this. Extend Braun. Zach Baun. I said that's what I meant. Zach Baun has been playing great ball. He got Defensive Player of the Week this week. And I said Baun. I'm
not laughing at you.
What'd you say, Braun Street?
And I mean, yes. Extend his contract. I mean, this defense, Quinyon Mitchell, the rookies are playing great. I mean, I think the best defensive player out there right now is Reed Blankenship. He just is playing great ball. He had one bad game, and he had a fumble recovery last week. And I think that this is the team we expected on defense this preseason, and I mean it has answered our prayers. So I mean it's a good look for us, and I'm excited to see what this team can do moving forward.
Jack, you better watch out, because I think Dennis is on his way to your house right now. He's gonna beat you up right now. Dude, like, holy crap. I know Dennis is ready to go off in the comments right now.
Here we go. Of course he's here.
There he is. Yep.
If anybody saw the video too, I'm like actually getting home, and it's like that awesome time in the day when you finally get home from work. You take up your feet, you start scrolling through. And Dennis, you'll have to do some research on this and let us know. But I don't know if you guys saw that video of the coach like going off on the offensive line player from that one school. Oh, yeah. Well, the coach's name was Cam Blankenship. So I was kind of wondering if there was any relation to Reed. But whatever it is, Reed had that aggression. It's the thing I had circled and highlighted. That was my connection there. But they just look way better. Like Jack said, since the bye, I feel like they found their identity. And whether that's the players finding their identity, Vic Fangio as the defensive coordinator finding the team's identity, or probably the real answer is a combination of the two, somewhere in between, I really don't care. It has worked. And the Eagles have been one of the best defenses in the NFL. Now, tomorrow night, they have a really big exam. They've been studying for this. They've been preparing for this. This is a tough test when you guys think about it. This is a mobile rookie quarterback. That's tough to game plan for because you've never seen it. You don't know what you're really in for. You can put down a QB spy, but you don't know. We'll see. I am kind of protecting him, Dennis, but I'm actually trying to make an interesting point here about ADHD's a bitch when
Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels. Point being, Jayden Daniels is going to be a problem. It ain't going to be an easy game. A lot of us remember that Thursday night game a couple years back. See how easy it is to get the fucking hamster off the track. Point being, tomorrow night's going to be a fun, interesting game, but I hope we walk out of there with a different result than we did a couple years ago. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be ugly, and I don't expect it to be a pretty win. But please, God, go out there and get a win. And the last thing I want to say about the defense getting ready for this game, because we'll talk about this game here in a second for a whole topic. But the one thing I want to say is Commandos are going to have a real chip on their shoulder coming off of a loss. If they would have won, I think that actually would have been to the Eagles' advantage. So my biggest thing that I've liked about this defense is they haven't lost that chip on their shoulder. Don't lose that chip on your shoulder now.
Yeah, I think this defense is, I mean, they're looking like a top 5 defense right now. Vic Fangio's got these guys. I mean, he's got them rolling. And it's great to see these young guys just step up. Cooper DeJean, you're seeing Quinyon Mitchell. I mean, Quinyon Mitchell is looking like Darrell Revis 2.0. I mean, he is locked in on any receiver right now. Like I keep on seeing every week. He looks like a veteran out there. And it's just great to see that from a really young guy and especially a rookie, just to look like a veteran out there, somebody that looks like he's been doing this for years. So, I mean, and this defense is just, I mean, all around, like Zach Bond is insane. I mean, I said it correctly this time. I said it correctly. I said it correctly. I didn't say Zach Braun. Oh, let's go to Braun Street.
You say it wrong?
Let's have a parade down Braun Street. No, I didn't say that. So nope. I didn't do that. But yeah, I'll tell you this. Zach Bond, he is insane. And to think that we were the team to actually scoop him up and actually realize that this guy could actually be a star linebacker on this squad, it's great.
Sorry, I was just pointing to Shardy's
comment.
comment.
Yeah, that song. Yeah,
that is a great song. But you're right, Mac. I mean, the fact that the Eagles took the gamble on Bond and it paid off, I mean, it's been really exciting. But I want to pivot now into our next topic because we still have to give a Commanders preview and actually get to our trivia. So do you have a trivia, Jack? Do we have one?
We do.
Cool. I don't have the score yet. I'll pull it up in a second so we can review it at the end. That's on me. I just didn't load it up yet. But go ahead and take it after this, Jack.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dordan, the mayor of Delaware.
Damn, it's been a while. It's been 3 weeks. We haven't done it. I'm feeling a little, I need it. So, tonight's question we have for you is, who is the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP? Again, who is the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP? And they can pick for that sponsorship. A, Sean Alexander. B, LaDainian Tomlinson. C, Adrian Peterson. Or D, Ray Lewis. Who was the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP? A, Sean Alexander. B, LaDainian Tomlinson. C, Adrian Peterson. Or D, Ray Lewis.
All right. Well, put your answers in the comments and let us know. But some good news this week. Mulata is returning to the lineup. Tommy boy, how big is this going to be for tomorrow night's game? Mulata coming back at key timing.
Well, just like his stature, huge.
Well done.
He's a stud. He brings a lot to this offensive line, and I think what also helps is it's going to allow us to use Fred Johnson anywhere. Fred Johnson, I think we need to give him props. He has been an absolute stud coming in. He filled in for Lane Johnson. He's now filled in for Mailata for a few weeks. He filled in for Becton for a game this year. I don't think this guy thought he'd be playing all 16, 17 games or whatever, 17 games this season. But here he is pretty much playing every week. And he's looked great. He hasn't really had a bad game. So just gotta tip your cap to Fred Johnson. And but Mailata returning's huge for this team. He's great. He really does shore up that side of the offensive line. And I think it's only gonna help them too with their brotherly shove. I know like 2 weeks ago they had a little bit of some issues against the Jags. But I think they really had to run it once against the cow shits.
The cow shits.
But this is what I got on game day every day for the listeners out there. For KJ, it was awesome living with college. He was creative. I mean, he still is, I'm sure, but I got to see it firsthand.
Screaming that's not pass interference. Dude, he ripped his jersey off. What are you talking
real
about?
Quick, one side topic, and then I'll let somebody else talk about Mulata. Really quick, funny story about Tom. You guys and the listeners will love this. Tom knows this story I'm about to tell. It's our freshman year. Tom and I actually went to the same high school. We all went to Sally's. Shout out to Jack, too. KJ didn't go there. We wish KJ went there though. But
I wish I went there too.
We would accept you as an honorary member. You would have fit right in.
I hate
point
my
is,
school, so I'm not giving them a shout out. They will not get named.
Oh, it's all good. But
Yeah.
Tom and I were like friends in high school, but like we were never like, I would say like super close until college, because obviously we lived across the hall from each other. The moment when I got to know how crazy this dude was game 1, 2017 freshman year, Super Bowl season. Yeah, our freshman year, as we came into the college, the Eagles won the fucking Super Bowl. That's pretty badass to say, right? Get chills. So I'm watching the game on a projector on a curtain in a N lounge in college with Tom. Tom is going absolutely bonkers. And as you guys know, that game was decided by Carson Wentz's game check that he gave to Jake Elliott when he kicked that field goal. But the best part of the game was Odell Beckham, I think, at the time was still on the Giants, and Malcolm Jenkins was on the Eagles. And Malcolm Jenkins love Malcolm Jenkins to death. Shout out to Malcolm Jenkins, one of the best Eagles safeties of all time. But he had a pretty bad pass interference where he basically RKO'd Odell Beckham Jr. And Tom gets up and he's like, yeah! He's like, what the hell, ref? Throw the flag. And the ref throws the flag. And Tom's like, yeah, let's go. He's like, offensive pass interference. And the ref's like, defense, pass interference. And Tom's just like, what the fuck? What do you mean, ref? Like, what do you mean, pass interference? He was doing nothing. And they show the replay, and it's literally Malcolm Jenkins, like, choke slamming. I could probably find the replay and put it on the screen right now. Like choke slamming Odell Beckham. And Tom's just sitting there. So, and I'm like looking at him to see like, okay, does he like think now like that this was wrong? And Tom's still sitting there with a straight face like, he had on green, he had on blue. What did you not see, sir? Like
nothing happened.
A true Philly fan. That was when I knew I loved Tom.
Yeah, it's all right.
But speaking about our prospect now, Mulata, Ash, Jack, KJ, any of you guys got anything you want to say about it?
I think you guys hit the nail on
It'd
the
be
head.
great to have Mulata back. That'll be great.
Yeah, and that's actually a great segue into our final topic, which KJ, I'll let you go ahead and take this one first, and then we'll let Ashley take it next, Jack after, and Tommy and I will take it at the caboose end. But Commandos preview, our house tomorrow. You'll be there.
I will be there. Yes, I will be there. Not as early as you. I wish I could, but unfortunately I have to work. So, but yes, tomorrow is the game we've all been waiting for. The Eagles take on those stinking Washington Command Red football team, whatever you want to call them. Yeah, I mean, you just can't keep track what team name they want to be, but they are the Commanders, and they're going down tomorrow. They're going down. And I'm telling you this, the Eagles are going to win this game. It's going to be close. It's going to be a dog fight for sure. I think the Eagles win it 37-34. That's the final score. And I think Jalen Hurts just goes out there and balls out. I think A.J. Brown's going to have I think he's going to have a touchdown. I think Saquon is probably get in the end zone as well, but it's going to be a great game. And Dolt, you can't leave early for this game. I know you hate traffic. I know you're like, you start sneezing when you see cars and whatever. Oh my God, there's traffic. It's traffic. I'm not going out there. Dolt, you got to stay for the whole game. Don't be a wuss, okay?
All right. You know what, Max? Just for you, I'm going to get AI to make a video of me staying at the game until the fourth quarter. And with no, I'm kidding. Hey, if it's a close game,
probably aren't
right.
kidding. You probably aren't kidding, you bastard.
Hey, in all seriousness, if it is a close game, I will stay there the whole time. I just wanted to say that. But Ashley, I mean, will you be paying for Amazon Prime out in Chicago or what?
Oh yeah, no, we have all of the streaming services. We get the NFL Sunday ticket. There's no other way to get these games out here. But we definitely will be tuning in. My dad said he's feeling scary confident. I did ask him before I came downstairs. He said he's feeling scary confident. I am not feeling scary confident, but I'm feeling confident. I'm going to go 34-31 Birds. I think Jake Elliott is going to have to do quite a bit of legwork to make this happen. Also, I just kind of want to give a shout out to all of these crazy rookie kickers in the NFL this season who are just rocking it. But they almost all are like in their own ways, a lot like Jake, but we are lucky to have him. And I think he's going to have to kick some pretty significant field goals tomorrow night.
Yeah, who is it? The guy, Tony Romo's nephew or something is going crazy for Chicago, or I think for somebody.
Their punter has more punting yards than Caleb Williams has any yards anywhere. That's currently the state of the Chicago Bears.
Remember when he said they weren't going to have to use them at all?
When he calls in and says you're not going to need to punt much here in Chicago. They've fired their offensive coordinator. They promoted their quarterback coach, who is the Panthers' former offensive coordinator. So it's just
good.
Yeah, they are. It's, as my dad said, it's the equivalent of taking pool water out of the Titanic. At this point, it's bad. So yeah.
Thank God you're not a Bears fan.
But I'm with one all the time though. So he's just like moping in the corner all of Sunday.
Poor dude.
It's true.
Poor dude.
And we won't get him to convert ever to being an Eagles fan, which I get it. But Jack, how are you feeling about this game?
Yeah, this is the game where the Commanders falling down in the deep end, because we saw this happen to the Saints when we beat them, because they were at 3-0, 4-0, and we took it to them, and then they had been on a decline since then. So the Commanders, you had a fair, easy schedule, begin the season, and you have an easy schedule, but, this is where your winning streak, and not your winning streak, but this is where you meet a good football team. Credit to the the Steelers last week, taking to them. But yeah, the Commanders, Jayden Daniels is good, but it's the Commanders. They're gonna pull an Eagles that we did last year. So I'm expecting this to be a big game. And I'm expecting the score to be, I'll go 35-21. Eagles win. And we will see the decline of these goddamn commies. That's all I got to say.
He's just a coach that not only educates you in football, but in life. Let's kick it to Coach's Corner.
You men know the drill. Let's see it on my count. Ready, set, go.
What's up, you sons of bitches? You thought I died? I didn't fucking die. I'm still here, and I am ready. I'm ready to talk my shit. For the game of the year. I mean, it's here. Jayden Daniels, rookie phenomenon. Shit. That's what I want to say. But the Commanders are going to shit the bed, because the Philadelphia Eagles are primed and ready. In the beginning of the year, I looked around at this team, and I looked at every one of these players in the eyes, and I thought, this is a bag of a bunch of bitches right now. These guys aren't doing shit. 2-2 looked at us in the eyes, and we said, fuck you, you fucking cobra. We fucking grabbed that cobra and choked it the fuck out and threw it. And you know what we're at? We're at fucking, I think, 7-2 now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. No laps for you. But anyway, point being, gentlemen and lady backstage, this is the game of the year. And there hasn't been more of a time for you boys to not shit your fucking pants. So please, put on your big boy pants, take off your diapers, and get ready. Because if the Philadelphia Eagles win this game, my wife and I are going to be having a lot of tiramisu.
Let's kick some Commando ass.
Let's beat those non-wearing underwear motherfuckers. Let's do it.
We dog it.
Yeah. Let's fucking, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that. I
got him over there. That's what I do to my players.
Are you at a funeral or something there, Jordan?
No, I'm just so locked in. I'm locked in. I am locked in right now because this is, I wouldn't say the biggest game. We got the Ravens. We got the Steelers coming up. I wouldn't say it's the biggest game, but it's the biggest divisional game for us this season. And I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
it's going to be
root for the Ravens. Remember what Tom said? You're a Ravens fan sometimes.
I'm not doing that. But I am so locked in right now that this is and I hate to feel this way. I'm expecting a lot, and hopefully they don't prove me wrong. This team is, time in, time again has showed up and done what they're supposed to do. We got to play 4 quarters. We can't have a first quarter like we did last week, even though we scored. Having those turnovers were key. Kind of wasn't the greatest thing, but yeah, I'm excited for this team to take it to the Commanders and kind of say, "We back."
Tommy, how confident are you in this game?
Well, Coach, let me ask you this.
I already love where this is going.
Coach, what do you think Jayden Daniels is going to do when he sees a Vic Fangio blitz coming his way?
Well, Tommy, let me put it to you this way. My most said word on this podcast so far is shit. Go ahead. He's going to shit his pants.
He's going to shit his pants and shit the bed. And I don't think he's going to do that well against a good defense. I don't think he's going to throw up any Hail Marys like against the Chicago Bears. I am so sorry, Connor. It is brutal being a Chicago Bears fan. That was the most brutal way to lose.
We were rooting for the Bears that night too.
We were. I was saddened. You were saddened. I now understand your pain. It is not fair being a Chicago Bears fan. That being said, at least you have the fridge and the Super Bowl shuffle for your memories.
Yep.
Even though you weren't born yet.
And
Ditka.
Yeah.
Coach, how's your relationship with Ditka?
He's gone. I think he
Coach's
went to go
gone.
see him.
Oh, damn it. Coach, how's your relationship with Ditka?
He just left. But I do know that there is a Ditka shrine that he actually got from KJ that KJ gave to him as a gift because he's a big Ditka fan. So he lets me just keep it here because like this is his only like podcast studio. So that like whole cubby over there is dedicated to that douchebag. Sorry about that.
Not a douchebag. Not a douchebag.
Yeah, KJ looks up to him for some reason. I think he's such a fucking douchebag. But anyway.
But you have his outfit. What are you talking about? I don't own his outfit.
I don't fucking have his outfit. He has his own.
But you have his
perf
perf stash, so that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
Yeah, it's true.
What? Wait, what was it? I heard curb stash. It sounded like that was all.
Yes.
Yours.
Yes,
What is
that's
a
what
curb stash?
Perv, yes. Perf
Oh,
stash.
I wish I had it. If I had that stash,
I
that
think
would-
KJ
He's saying I do. He's saying I do. You guys
He's
wish,
not the coach.
You guys wish you could grow a mustache out like. Well, not Ash. Ash, you don't. I'm sorry.
I do though. I do.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
But yeah, you guys wish you guys
Wait,
could.
should we do a
So,
no shave
honestly.
November next year because it's too late and have like a mustache growing contest and like see at the end of the month like all the guys from 302 Birds who
I would
grows
win.
the best
I
stash?
would win.
You
I
would probably win. I'm not gonna lie.
I would shave it off and then it would.
Or
pop
BG.
right back up.
BG now that he's a part of it might win too. BG Brandon.
BG grows a good one.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, Ash. Would
The
you
answer
be
to that
okay
is
with-
no.
Why?
The answer to that is no.
I think he
Ash
would
does
be
not
a
want
nice,
Connor having a
sexy,
mustache.
sexy style cop looking
The way
hunk.
the way that you can do this, and then we'll get out of here and kick it to Jack for his trivia, is the Eagles need to go on some kind of a win streak when you don't shave your face. And then you can tell Ash that it's somehow correlated. That would be my play, brother. Good luck. Anyway, I'll kick it to Jack for his trivia.
That's right, Matt.
Time for everybody's favorite part of the show, 302 Trivia, with your host, Jack Dorden, the mayor of Delaware.
Thank you to Tick Pick for that sponsorship. It is Eagles season. Get your tickets through Tick Pick. They got a section now at the link. Make sure you stop by.
We'll be there tomorrow, FYI. Tick Pick Landing. If anybody bought that pass, we will be there tomorrow. Sorry.
Can
go
you
ahead.
move? Okay, there we go. So here's a scoreboard. Hopefully this is actually you said it's accurate. So
This
we got
is accurate. Yes.
the fans with 3. We got Dutch with 2. We got Ashley with 4. We got Tommy with 3. Josh with 1. KJ with 1. And Amari with 1.
Amir, motherfucker.
Amir. Yeah, so tonight's question, I'll read it to you, and then I'll get to the fans first. The question is, who was the last non-quarterback to win NFL MVP? A, Sean Alexander, B, LaDainian Tomlinson, C, Adrian Peterson, or D, Ray Lewis? I'll take it to the fans. I gotta find it. So I'm gonna go with Joe Havens. He said C. Adrian Peterson. Correct. We got Shardy with Adrian Peterson. We got KJ with AP. We got Tommy with Adrian Peterson. We got Ashley with Adrian Peterson. And sorry, Dalton, you're wrong. He said B, LaDainian Tomlinson. So everyone on this panel right now won, but
except Dalton.
You know, I just want to say you guys are a bunch of fucking dickheads, except for everybody but Ash, because Ash is nice. But everybody else, go fuck yourself. Because you know what? That was
Fuck you, Dalton.
Are you wearing a Cowboys t-shirt?
And no,
yeah, he is.
Hey, fuck face. This is your own shirt, dickhead. I'm advertising you right now. But point being, I thought seriously, genuinely, that he had an old question because LaDainian Tomlinson was the answer to another trivia question, I think, earlier in the season. And I was like,
I got it right.
oh, fuck, let's go. Like, so that was why I said that. I'm a fucking idiot.
Well,
I want my
this
heart
has
wanted
been
to say AP.
This has been the same damn question for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
3
Well,
weeks.
we will change it next week, guys. We're getting better slowly. I mean, it's the middle of the
we
NFL
haven't
season.
done it in 3 weeks.
We're figuring ourselves out, too.
We're finding ourselves. We're finding our inner peace.
But now we will bloom, like Sirianni said. But, I mean, that's all I got. If any of you guys will be at the tailgate tomorrow, find KJ, me, and possibly some others. Brandon, I know BG will be there. In G2, we're going to try to post up as close to 4th and John as we can and hang out with them. We haven't gotten to tailgate with them all year. Hang out with them. They do a great job at what they do. But that's all I got. Jack, you want to go ahead and take us out of here?
Yeah, where's Zep?
Yeah, he is. It's date night, so he's with his chickie poo. Every Wednesday, funny. But yeah, guys, this could be a early Christmas present for us, being in the Eagles fan base. So we are preparing for war. We are going to be the commander-in-chief, not the commandos. We are going to take it to them. We are going to run them into the ground, not as bad as the Cowboys, but we will show them who is the beast in the fucking East. Let's go, Birds. Birds by a million. Eagles.
Let's go.
Without further ado, I know Josh isn't here, but hey, Josh, it's an outro, not an intro. Hit that motherfucking outro.
What we got? 302BIRDS, State.